Ohuhu sent me their colour pencils to try out and give an honest review, and I have to admit I was a bit nervous about trying these because I haven't used colour pencils in so long. When I first reconnected with art again and began posting my journey on Instagram, I was solely using colour pencils, and don't get me wrong, it served a purpose in my overall journey with art, but I very quickly became disenchanted with colour pencils because I started to not enjoy the process of using them. And obviously I was using them in a very different way, in a very different style to what my art is now. So when I got these from Ohuhu, I was wondering what I was going to do with them. But these past few weeks, I've been feeling really playful with my illustrations and experimenting with different mediums like acrylic markers, which have been so fun. And I just had this urge to use all the mediums together. So I organised my alcohol markers because I wanted to do a mixture of like alcohol markers, colour pencils and acrylic markers, and I wanted the vibe of my illustrations to be bright and saturated, which is what I usually go for. I really wanted to retain my style that I do with other mediums like gouache because I wanted it to be recognisable to my work and my illustrations. And spoiler alert, I had so much fun experimenting with colour pencils like this. Like, I loved the vibe they gave to my illustrations, and I think if you have some colour pencils and alcohol markers lying around, this combination and the way I use them may be really fun to you, so definitely try it out. So I began by doing a base of a marker colour, and I didn't even draw out anything beforehand. I just went for it with the marker, and actually this was really great because it helped me jump in and not focus too hard on getting the perfect sketch, which helped me get into that flow state quite quickly. And I was very clear in my mind that I didn't want to have the super blended realistic vibe to this marker and colour pencil combination that I was doing. If you've seen my other alcohol marker videos, I don't do much blending at all. And not to critique blending or realism, I just have a really clear vision in my mind that I don't want to go down that category. I want my illustrations to look really illustrative, and I want to see the different marks and textures on the page. Like, I want to achieve something stylistic, and I really struggle with that actually. I always feel like I fall into the trap of really wanting to represent whatever I'm illustrating very literally, and so this playful period that I'm going through right now with my art is really helping me get away from that. I actually feel really excited that I am discovering my style more and more as I keep playing with my art. I know what I want. I want vibrancy, I want playfulness, I want a bit more looseness than I'm currently achieving, and that's a work in progress still. I want to spark joy. I want my illustrations to feel like you want to keep staring at them. And this is my current vision and mission when it comes to my art. But it's been a really fun process so far of getting closer and closer to that. If anyone is interested in more talk about discovering your style and kind of setting down a path to discover your style, I would love to talk more about it. I just don't know if people are interested in that. So laying down the colour pencil layers, I was focusing on making some really nice strong marks. I wanted to create depth, but I didn't want it to come from lots of blending and tons of colours and layering. I wanted to kind of be more minimalistic about it, or maybe not minimalistic, that's probably not the word, but just less. And I wouldn't say that these are simple illustrations in this style, but they are very simple in their process, if that makes sense. I loved this jumbled mess of like markers for the base, then colour pencils, then acrylic markers on top. I was really tuning into my intuition on what I wanted where. I was loosely using references for what I was drawing, but mainly just to give me a sense of where to put the highlight and shadow more than copying the images exactly. And this felt amazing because I love when I can really release myself from copying something perfectly and allow myself to focus more on the style and the vibe of what I'm creating. Now to review the colour pencils themselves, so my first impression of these were that they reminded me a lot of Prismacolor pencils, which was actually the first brand that I started using when I first was drawing with them and making those more realistic pieces. They're soft and oil-based, which makes them more buttery to work with, and this has pros and cons depending on what you're using them for. So for these illustrations, I was pressing down quite hard on them, which meant I was using them up quite quickly versus a colour pencil that has a harder core, like the Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils. I think these are perfect for if you want to blend and layer because of that soft core, and the butteriness of them means that they aren't streaky when you press down and burnish them. Like, you can't see individual marks if you press down evenly, which is great. For some parts of these illustrations, I was pressing down quite hard, and because they're so soft, I was using them up very quickly, and some I sharpened down a lot, which isn't bad obviously, but I think I may have benefited from a harder nib for these illustrations, but that has more to do with the style I was trying to achieve versus the actual pencil itself. And I think another really good point of these is that they're super vibrant and pigmented. So, you know, I don't know if you've ever tried color pencils that are a bit more waxy, or maybe they don't have that pigment and that it's really frustrating, like you keep pressing down and you're not getting like the pigment return. These were super pigmented and very vibrant. I think the price point is pretty good for 72 colors. I know price points are very relative to everyone, but looking at different brands and comparing their pricing for the quality that Ohuhu offers, this sits within a very good price point. So overall, I would recommend them, especially as a beginner set if you're looking for yourself or to gift to someone. These are a really good introduction to color pencils, and hopefully through this video you're seeing the versatility of how you can use color pencils in different styles. Also, I want to add that acrylic markers on top of these felt like the perfect addition. I'm really new to acrylic markers and they legitimately surprised me with how pigmented and opaque they are. I loved using them to add some final touches to the illustrations. Normally, I've used white gel pens for highlights with my alcohol markers, but I think an acrylic marker in white is even better than a gel pen. I just love how opaque they are, and it allowed me to add in some variation in strokes and texture. Anyway, I hope it's been fun to see my process with these. I'm going to leave you with the rest of my process, and hopefully you're painting or drawing along with me. Let me know if you have questions, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!